this is about now what you say to people, okay? We'll talk about how you say it as well separately, but this is what you say, okay? So think about your key messages that you give out every day, okay? Are those messages solution focused or problem focused that you give people? Because they will take it and start to build your brand in their head. And if you are I've met many people over the life that are perceived as negative, and when they are questioned about it, they will say things like, I'm not negative, I just point out problems. And we all need to point out the problems, otherwise you can't skip over them. Now, I get some of that logic, but there's no point pointing out a problem without having a go at finding a solution. Because otherwise you're just a problem pointer-outerer, for want of a better phrase. And actually, that's really draining on people. And so if you're problem focused in your mindset, well, that won't work. That's never going to work. Well, they'll never get that to work. Well, then we've tried this before, it's not going to work. If you're saying things like that, if those are your key messages, you won't be earning any performance currency with other people. They'll just see you as the doubter, as the well, that'll never work, as the downside. Now, if you are a type of person that is good spotting problems, but the key messages are, look, I can foresee this problem, but I've had to think about it and we might want to think about some solutions to get around it. If those are the key messages, then nobody minds problems being pointed out at all whatsoever. And instead of having impact as a problem finder, you have impact as a solution builder. And there is a massive difference between those two things. We all know people that point problems out to people, and it's just not very useful. Oh, that won't work. Anyway, have a good day. That's not helpful whatsoever. If we can look at a problem, maybe go, look, I'm thinking this might happen. I'm thinking we might have a problem here, but if we did this, and this, would that help? Yeah, or actually, is there anything that you can think of that might help this situation? And again, it comes back to earning that performance currency, because nobody wants a problem seeker, yeah? Unless there are some solutions or some potential solutions on the back of it. And even if you haven't got this potential solution, you approach it in a solution-focused way so you can involve other people to get the solution, okay? So the first point on this slide is key messages. Think about what your key messages are every day. Yeah? I'm not even on about how you're saying it at the moment. This is just what you say. Yeah? Think about what are your key messages coming in the morning, for argument's sake, if you're in the office, right? Coming in the morning and people going, you're right, and you go, oh, no, I'm knackered. It's only Tuesday, I'm worn out already. Because if those are your key messages coming out, it not only means that your impact and presence will be negative, it also diminishes the impact and presence you have as well at that point, because people don't want to go near them. I played golf a few weeks ago, and it's in a networking group, and there's one guy that turns up, right, every week, right, and you can see people don't want to be in his four ball, right, because he was coming the other way up a fairway while I was going down the other fairway, and I overheard him. And somebody went, you're right, and he went, no, absolutely crap game, can't hit anything, it's an absolute nightmare, I'm like this all the time. And in about 15 seconds, his key messages not only had made sure he was going to play golf crap for the rest of the day himself, but it made me go, thank God I'm not with him. There was no performance currency being built by this guy whatsoever, okay? So just think about it. Sometimes when people are really struggling with this, I get them to actually write down what they say during the day. I get them to keep a log. Just when you say something to somebody, just write it down. Yeah, I'm tired, I'm worn out, this has not happened, this has happened. Darren's put, we've got a few here now. Darren's put, be aware of the shadow you cast. Absolutely, Darren, yeah, we talked about that, didn't we? You cast the shadow by when you say stuff. Not only does it interfere with your own thinking, but obviously you condition other people around you. Martin's put, that's a very yellow viewpoint. Yeah, it can be, Martin, but think about the messages that we give out, okay? You don't have to be overly sociable as a high yellow to give out good messages. You've just kind of got to do the hindering ones. Yeah, and you can even, I'm not even say don't be honest, because if you come to work and you don't feel great, I'm not on about going, well, I'm fantastic, because people won't believe you anyway if you're not feeling great. But instead of going, well, I feel like crap, your message is, do you know what, I don't feel great today, but I'm going to crack on with it and see what I can get done. Now that's honest, and you don't have to say you're fantastic or you're wonderful or you whatever it may be, but just take a note of some of the key messages that come out, especially if you want impact and presence. Because if you're doing the hindering thing, you massively reduce the impact, or you massively increase the impact that nobody wants to be around you at that point. Yeah? Whichever way you want to look at it. Okay? But good point. Good point. Problem focused or solution focused, we've talked about. Okay, we talked about that on the last one. Are you going to be problem focused? Also, think about the purpose you say things. What is the purpose that you say things? Why is it useful to tell people you're tired? What's the purpose of that? What are you trying to get from it? Are you trying to get other people to agree and say they're tired so you feel a bit better? Are you trying to tell people so they lay off you a bit and go a bit easy on you on the day? What's the purpose? So think about, I'm not saying there's a right and the wrong purpose here, but just think about, if you have got any hindering things that you say, messages that you give, why are you saying them? What is the purpose of that conversation that you have? Because sometimes I go in and I do this. I go in and my team go, you're right. I go, do you know what? I'm shattered. Didn't sleep properly. I was up till 10 o'clock doing X, Y, and Z. And then afterwards, I think to myself, why did I even say that to them? What was the purpose of me? Do I want them to feel sorry for me? Do I want them to go, oh, I'm sure it'll be all right, John? And maybe there's a bit of that. Maybe high yellows need a bit of that. Somebody need, put your arm around me and love me for a bit. High yellows need a bit of that sometimes. But sometimes I do think to myself, what's the point? Why are you saying these things? Because if you can work out the root cause, you can change what you're saying, if you choose to. So again, just another thought for you, okay? Remember, this is all about impact and presence. So if your messages are problem focused and not solution focused, then you're going to get either the wrong type of impact and presence, or your impact and presence in a good way diminishes on the way, okay? Are you being rational? Are you being structured? Are you giving clarity to people? Yeah, because all these things make sense. All these things are important to help people make sense of what you're doing and what you're saying on the back of it. So, are you being rational? Now, your rational is different to somebody else's, I get that. But generally, are you being rational? Are you being structured? Are you flitting from different things? Yeah? Are you giving clarity? And you might be thinking, why is that important when it comes to impact and presence? There's one word I'm going to give you, okay? Why is it important to be structured and have clarity if you want to generate impact and presence? One word, consistency. Okay? If you are consistent in your approach, in your behaviors, people can trust you. Yeah? You don't have to tell me, it's a rhetorical question, but what's it like working with somebody that's got inconsistent behavior? Because you might do, I've certainly worked with him in the past, yeah? In one job, the FD was the MD's wife, and I used to go in the morning, look through the doorway to where that she was sitting, see what look was on her face, and that would determine what type of day it was going to be, yeah? She wouldn't even have to speak. Okay? And I'd take one look and go, well, I'm not talking to her about my expenses today. Yeah? Now that inconsistent behaviour meant that our relationship wasn't great, because you can't build trust with inconsistent behaviours. Likewise, if you want impact and presence with people around you, if they trust you, you're 80% of the way there. Pete, I'm not even reading that out, right? Because you're a braver man than me, right? You are a braver man than me. I'm moving on very, very Nicola, you need to be careful as well because your boss is on. Inconsistency, and we can all, don't get me wrong, I'm not about as general just a mood swing, because we all have them. This is about somebody where you walk in and you go good morning and it's a 50-50 coin toss of what they're going to say. Yeah, is it a good day or is it a bad day? What's going to happen? Yeah, do we know? Shall we find out what we're getting? Yeah, so consistency helps, and if you are structured and give clarity to people, then you can become more consistent and they can trust you quicker, faster, sleeker, and everything else that goes on, okay? And then of course, what a lot of people forget, and I've heard people say the opposite of this, is you need to adapt what you're saying to the audience that's in front of you as well. So the amount of people I've come across that say things like this, and I apologise if you're one of them, well, that's just the way I am. People have to take it or leave it. Yeah? Now, if that is your opinion, I am not one to challenge your opinion. That's your opinion, your filing cabinet, off you go. However, if you want impact and presence with different audience types, you can't be like that. Because if I walk into a room full of high reds, I can be high red. If I walk into a room of high yellows and don't say hello, I'm losing impact straight away. If I walk into a team full of high greens and I start shouting and telling everybody what the score's going to be, I start to lose impact straight away. So hopefully you can tell by now, you've got to adapt to the given audience in front of you if you know what their personality type is, of course. You don't need to run a profile to know what people's personality is. Excuse me, let me just turn that off, it's binging my head off. But you can very quickly, by what people are saying, pick up on the type of person they are, okay? So, that is about what you say. Adapting, have clarity, have structure, is it rational? What purpose are you saying that thing for? Is it solution focused or is it problem focused on the back of it? And what are your key messages that you send out to the universe every day?